What does life look like after a fall? This may seem like a kind of sideways question, but actually, it's very relevant to the story of salvation in the Bible. Sarah Slay with the UWM Pen Guy, and this has been the Bible Commentary. As always, if you liked what you're seeing, I would ask that you hit like and subscribe in order to help the channel grow. And now, without further ado, let's get into the Word. So today we're going to go through Joshua chapter 9, verses 16 and 17, and we're going to see life immediately after a fall from a certain level of grace in a certain sense. Let's read the verses. At the end of 3 days, after they had made a covenant with them, they heard that they were their neighbors and that they lived among them. And the people of Israel set out and reached their cities on the third day. Now their cities were Gibeon, Shephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath Jearim. So this is what it looks like after a fall. Let's briefly look back at the original fall, the great fall in the garden, and get an idea of what life looks like after a fall. So we see that the first consequence was that they now noticed that they were naked and they were ashamed. It specifically says earlier that they were naked and not ashamed. So sin brings shame. It brings a level of self-awareness and guilt that was not there before. Now, to go back to the Israelites, you have the fact that you can only imagine what sort of shock and humiliation must have hit the leaders of Israel. But there's nothing they can do about it now. They've made the covenant. It's a done deal. And they had 3 days to build up their anticipation that they think they were doing pretty good. And all of a sudden, it all falls apart. It all falls apart right in front of them. Now, it also says they had to set out and reach their cities, which means they had time to really contemplate their failure. It was just bad. It was bad all around. And a final note, a completely different note, is that once again we have lists of cities here. And so we can say that this is a historical text. It is not, as Peter says, we did not follow cleverly devised fables, making known to you the appearing of our God and Savior Jesus Christ. And so this is real. And because it's real, I encourage you, if you do not know Christ, to consider the shame that your sin has brought to all of the opportunities that God has given you, and that can all be redeemed and washed away through Christ. And so until next time, this is Eric Slater, the UWM Pen Guy, and this has been the Bible Commentary.